with no training in music.
None.
Did you think you'd be good at this?
I never thought I would have a musical ear. I never thought I'd have a natural gift.
And when you see, there's no artist, let me be clear, there's no artist in this industry that's doing major numbers with these platforms that haven't sold it.
Y'all, Alicia Keys just dropped the bomb we never saw coming. She's finally spilled the tea on what Clive Davis and Jay-Z actually did to her, and babe, it's darker, messier, and way more twisted than anyone ever imagined. Once upon a time, Alicia was the golden girl of the music world, soulful braids, fingers flying across the piano keys, and a voice that made you feel every word. She was the industry's darling, flawless, authentic, graceful, or so we thought. But behind all that glitz and shine, there's a story soaked in power plays, manipulation, and control. And now, Alicia's pulling the curtain back on her journey, and let's just say it's making everyone in the industry squirm.
But for somebody who doesn't fit into an era musically, what is your inspiration? What do you tap into?
Everything. Everything. I love to listen to everything. I love to listen to things that I love, new discoveries. I love listening to new artists. I love, taking it back to like the eras of the 30s and the 50s and the 60s.
When Alicia first stepped into the limelight, she was just a teenager, just a kid with a voice that could break hearts and light up a stage. But her so-called discovery by Clive Davis? Oh, honey, that wasn't some fairy tale moment. Clive Davis, the big boss behind megastars, didn't just find Alicia. According to insiders, he engineered, crafted her, molded her debut album, Songs in A Minor, like it was his own creation. Sure, the album won Grammys and catapulted Alicia into superstardom, but here's the dirty truth. It may not have been Alicia's voice we heard, not fully. It was what Clive wanted the world to hear. Whispers from behind closed studio doors say Clive micromanaged everything. Her music, her look, her entire image. Alicia, full of dreams and fire, may have walked straight into a trap, one where she wasn't allowed to be herself. That first album, some claim it wasn't Alicia's raw soul, it was Clive's commercial puppet show. And oh, it worked. Songs in A Minor blew up 5 Grammys, a global icon. But was it real? Or was it a perfectly curated masterpiece by a man pulling every single string? Think about it. Alicia's image was always flawless, clean, no drama, no scandals. Maybe that wasn't just who she was, maybe that's who Clive needed her to be. Some even say Clive iced out other artists, pouring every dime and drop of attention into Alicia to make sure she stayed on top. Carefully, quietly building the perfect queen for his kingdom.
And strictly for the purposes of financial gain for those who have access to her estate, including Clive Davis.
Including Clive Davis.
But babes, the control didn't stop at the music. Oh no. Clive didn't just shape Alicia's career, he allegedly shaped her life. Her public interviews, her persona, even her relationships. Let that sink in. People close to the industry swear that Clive had his hands all over Alicia's world. Her rise wasn't just Alicia's doing, it was the grand design of a man used to playing God with artists' lives. But Clive Davis wasn't the only one in this story. Enter Jay-Z, the rap mogul, the billionaire, the empire builder, and Alicia's duet partner in Empire State of Mind. From the outside, it looked like a dream collaboration. 2 New York legends creating an anthem. But why Alicia? Why not Mary J. Blige? Why not someone else? Was it really just about her voice, or was there something deeper?
Jay-Z new video with Nas and DJ Khaled is a scene with checkerboards. These are all occult Satanist.
Here's where the gossip goes into overdrive. Some insiders believe Empire State of Mind wasn't just a song. It was a chess move, a very calculated, very strategic maneuver. Jay-Z, just like Clive, knows how to build narratives. And this duet, it wasn't random, it was a plan to elevate Alicia, yes, but also to cement Jay-Z's dominant power couple energy, even if unofficial. And y'all, let's not ignore the whispers that have floated around for years about Jay-Z and Alicia sharing a bond that may have stretched beyond studio walls. No proof, no confirmations, but the speculation, oh, it's fueled the gossip fire for a decade. Could it be that Jay-Z's involvement wasn't just business? Did Clive approve of this alliance? Was this all part of a master strategy to keep Alicia exactly where they wanted her?
Has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know.
Now here's the kicker. What if Jay-Z and Clive Davis were actually working together behind the scenes? What if Alicia's career was a tag team project between 2 of the most powerful men in the industry? If that's true, what does that mean for Alicia? Was she just a pawn in their game? Did she ever truly have a say? For years, Alicia has talked about authenticity, about staying true to herself. But go back and read her words again. There's a hint of rebellion, a quiet fight, like she's been trying to reclaim something stolen from her. Could she have spent her entire career trying to break free from these two titans?
Feels amazing.
Right.
So what was your inspiration for the record?
It was more the concept of like jumping without inhibition, like describing this idea of like actually jumping out of the plane instead of convincing yourself that you're gonna fall, you're gonna get, so this idea of believe just.
And now, finally, it feels like Alicia's reclaiming her power. The signs are there. Visiting her old high school, speaking out more, launching her own projects, including a Broadway musical that feels way too personal to be fiction. She's preaching self-love, individuality, standing out. Is this Alicia's big comeback? Or is it her quiet way of saying, here's what they did to me? After years of silence, is she finally peeling back the layers? Or is she only giving us a tiny taste of a much bigger, more disturbing truth? Are Clive and Jay-Z still lurking in the shadows, pulling strings? Or did she finally cut those cords?
But still, I just don't want to experience that. I don't want to experience none of that.
She's always been private, always dodging controversy like a pro. Her life, clean, safe, unproblematic. But was that her choice or someone else's plan? Let's look at one specific storm, her relationship with Swizz Beatz. When that love story became public, baby, it was messy. Swizz was still married and people were dragging Alicia hard. The moral queen suddenly wasn't looking so squeaky clean. But did she speak up? Did she clap back? Nope, just silence. No interviews, no Instagram essays, just a black hole of PR mystery. Some believe Clive himself stepped in, cleaned it all up, kept Alicia's halo polished, because if she's the industry's golden girl, scandal cannot exist.
After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed, right?
Now let's dig into Swizz Beatz a bit more. Was this love story all romance? Or was it a calculated move? Swizz is a power player, a producer with major industry connections. Marrying Alicia didn't just give us cute red carpet photos, it reinforced the brand. Alicia Keys, the loving wife, the mother, the grounded star, the role model. But was it authentic? Or was this just another storyline written for her?
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, because when you grow up in a certain environment, I get enough adrenaline rushes.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I
The way
had
my
enough
anxiety set
thrills.
up, I'm cool.
Yeah,
Let's not kid ourselves. Clive Davis and Jay-Z are not just moguls, but is also contemplating whether it's worth to give up. They're puppet masters. Builders of empires, yes, but also kings of control. Clive's been called the godfather of music for a reason, but with that title comes a dark side. Artists under his wing have long whispered about being silenced, reshaped, or worse, discarded. Could Alicia's relationships have been curated too? Just another piece in Clive's grand performance?
Davis has always assumed a far more active role than most record company presidents. That's why he was a pioneer in the 60s. It's also why he has survived into the 80s.
And Jay-Z? Let's not forget, before he became a billionaire, he had his roots in Brooklyn's underground scene. His lyrics weren't just street poetry. Many say they were lived experiences. And that 1999 stabbing incident, that wasn't fiction. Jay's built an empire, sure, but some say he's used whatever means necessary to protect it. So ask yourself, what does it take to get that much power in music?
That I have a very special connection with artists, with music. I certainly know I had it with him.
Let's talk about how Jay-Z and Clive Davis, two men from completely different worlds, ended up dancing in the same shadows. They've been known to open doors for artists, but just as easily slammed them shut. Entire careers gone overnight. Artists blacklisted, shelved, ghosted from the charts. Why? Because they didn't follow the plan. Is this why Alicia Keys has walked the tightest line in music history? Never offending either of them? Always poised? Always safe? Maybe that wasn't just her being graceful. Maybe it was survival. Because when you're up against those kinds of giants, one wrong move and they'll erase you like you were never even there.
He needed her back.
Oh, yeah.
He needed her back. But he needed her back and under his control.
And don't let the businessman act fool you. Jay-Z's image today? Clean cut, luxury suits, billion-dollar moves. But whispers from behind the velvet rope say otherwise. His Roc Nation empire? massive, but allegedly built with some shady backdoor deals, partnerships with Live Nation, high-stakes negotiations, and behind it all, allegations of strong-arming artists, buying silence, controlling narratives. It's the part the public never sees. But if you look close enough, you can feel it. The cold calculations beneath the glitz. Power in the entertainment industry doesn't come free, baby. Someone always pays the price.
And we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed.
And don't think Clive Davis is squeaky clean either. Behind the tuxedos and grand speeches, a much darker reputation. Clive helped shape icons like Whitney Houston, Janis Joplin, but insiders say his biggest skill wasn't discovering talent, it was keeping it in check. Controlling artists not just in the studio, but emotionally, psychologically, using their own personal battles as leverage. Whitney's story alone raises every red flag. And Alicia, she was his from day one. Was her path ever truly her own? Or was it laid out, paved, and patrolled by Clive every step of the way?
But after that major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious past.
Clive and Jay-Z, the mogul and the hustler, the legend and the titan, two sides of the same coin. One masters the corporate empire, the other, the street-born empire. But their shared language, control. They don't just guide artists, they own them. They mold stories, image, legacy. And once they've got you under their wing, baby, it's not so easy to fly free. So where does Alicia fit in all of this? Was she their crowning jewel, or was she a carefully curated investment locked in from the beginning?
I feel like I'm in my own lane anyway.
Definitely are.
Yeah, so I can see why people wouldn't, because I don't really belong there.
What's truly fascinating is how Alicia has managed to survive all of it. The control, the rumors, the criticism, and somehow she still walks like a queen. Even her no makeup movement, at first it was hailed as bold, revolutionary, raw. But then came the backlash. Critics accused her of using it to sell empowerment, to brand authenticity. Was it genuine or was it genius PR? But Alicia didn't budge. She didn't cry or backtrack. She doubled down. She turned the tables, pushed the narrative back to self-love. But was it really her voice, or the carefully tuned voice of a machine working overtime to protect the brand? Then came Hell's Kitchen, her Broadway musical. Alicia said it's not autobiographical, but let's be real. Fans are watching and going, wait, this is her story. Themes of control, identity, rebellion. A young girl rising up through pressure and expectation. Sound familiar? Critics are convinced this isn't just a musical, it's a coded message, Alicia's quiet rebellion in plain sight. And if that's true, then Hell's Kitchen isn't just theater, it's a confession. A love letter to the girl she used to be, and maybe a dagger aimed at the ones who tried to own her. The timing is too perfect. Alicia calls it a love letter to her past, but honey, it feels like she's screaming through the curtains. You don't know half of what I've been through, because when you watch that stage unfold, you don't see a character. You see a teenaged Alicia trapped in an industry that wanted her perfect, predictable, profitable. Is she telling her truth, bit by bit, melody by melody, or is this just another polished act in the grand PR plan? Because let's be honest, in this industry, nothing is ever accidental. Then again, maybe this is Alicia's boldest move yet. Maybe she's done hiding. Maybe she's done being the good girl who stays quiet while the men behind her claim credit for her rise. Maybe this is her soft, soul-filled middle finger to Clive and Jay-Z. What's crystal clear now is that Alicia's journey, it's so much bigger than just hit songs and red carpets. This is about the power struggle behind the scenes, about how artists, especially women, are used, packaged, and puppeteered by the titans of music. Clive Davis and Jay-Z are just two of many, but their shadows loom large over Alicia's story. She forces us to ask the tough questions. Did she really rise on her own? Or was she sculpted, engineered into a perfectly safe product? And if she, Alicia freaking Keys, was turned into an industry pawn, what hope does anyone else have? Even as she steps into this new chapter, the questions keep circling like vultures. Is she finally free, or is she still chained to the legacies of two men who believed they made her? Did she break the machine, or is she still performing within it? We may never know the full truth. Not yet, maybe not ever. But what we do know is this: Alicia Keys is not just a singer, not just a songwriter. She's a survivor of an industry that doesn't just shape careers, it consumes souls. And if this is her truth, we're only just starting to hear the first verse. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget, the most powerful stories are the ones that were never supposed to be told. We'll see you next time. Until then, stay curious.